Hi, welcome to Quilts and Other Happy Accidents. I'm Sherry. I appreciate you tuning in to see this video. Today I have a little project I want to do. So as you may recall, my husband and I have a little 21-foot camper and we drag it around doing different things. And campers are really generally very nice people. And when we were camping last time, um, this fellow across the way had extra firewood and brought over to give us because they were leaving the next morning. They weren't going to use it all. And he refused to take any money, which is usually what happens, but I always offer. And firewood in the campgrounds, it's not expensive, but somebody had to pay for it, right? So I got to thinking about it, and at that time, I had harvested some fresh basil to bring with me on the trip. Okay, the truth is, I think I spilled the basil seeds in the corner of the garden, and I had like 50 little plants all in one spot. So I thinned them, harvested, and cleaned them up and brought them with me to put in salads and things while we were camping. I got to thinking about it, and I thought, I'm going to see if the couple would use that basil. So I cleaned it up and put part of it in a little Ziploc bag and took it over. And the woman's face just lit up. The opportunity to have fresh basil to put in her salads or whatever. So that got me to thinking, sometimes when you come across people and situations, it's just nice to show some gratitude. And it doesn't have to be a big deal. He didn't have to share his wood with us, but, just be able to reciprocate with a little bit of basil. And it was just a friendly, neighborly thing to do. So I got to thinking about my orphan blocks, and we all have orphan blocks, right? Well, maybe you guys plan better than I do. I always seem to either be one short or three over, whatever. So I got out my orphan blocks, and I want to show some of them to you today because what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn them into hot pads. And that way I can take them with me in the camper, and if someone shows a gesture of kindness, I can reciprocate with a gift from my own hands. I don't know. Maybe they'll like it, maybe they won't. But here we go. So let's start by looking at some of these orphan blocks. Every time I look at these, I think about the quilts that I've made over the years, and you're going to see that I lean into some pretty bright colors sometimes. This one is called a Twisted Sister. This block, originally, I bought this template block set 21 years ago. In fact, I remember exactly when I bought it because I had a friend who had set me up on a blind date with my husband. That's another story. But I made her a quilt with this Twisted Sister block. Now, this is not hers. This is a block that I put into one of my donation quilts. When I started making donation quilts, I started using kids' prints and those little blocks where you can buy the panels and stuff, and just kind of expanding them and making them. This was one of my very first donation quilts. I hope whoever got that really enjoys it. Oh my gosh. This is one block that's left over from my first granddaughter's baby quilt. She's 13 now, but this was left from hers. I didn't realize I still had that in here. Okay, now these are the ones that I think I'm going to go ahead and turn into the hot pads. A couple of reasons. One, they're kind of more neutral than I would probably make for other things. I was making a donation quilt, and I wanted to use this pattern, which is one of those free patterns I picked up at Joann's or someplace, right? And I literally wanted to use up as many scraps of fabric as I could. So I made these blocks, and the basis was florals. And I couldn't believe how many florals I had because I don't personally choose florals for myself. But boy, I had some florals. And I think this is a 10.5-inch block. So this block should make a nice sized hot pad or hot trivet maybe, something just to set on the table so that you don't burn it. I mean, I'm going to share it with people at campgrounds. Even if they hate it, it's going to be useful. All right, I'm going to put these away. And I've already cut, there it is, some of my batting. Of course I have leftover batting. And what I've done is I measured it 10.5 by 21 inches and just folded it over. So I've got a double here. That makes a really good weight to keep heat and so forth. And you just line that up, right? I still need to cut the back because I could put one on each side. I could do that. But I don't think I want to. I think I want to use another piece of fabric on the back. Let me show you what I've chosen to put on the back. Isn't this a beautiful piece of fabric? Yep, I got it in Hawaii. And I have used it and used it and used it. I don't know what I was thinking years ago when I started buying fabric randomly. And I would buy 3-yard or 4-yard pieces because they last forever. As beautiful as this fabric is, I'm really ready to see it move on out of my stash. I've used it many times. And I think this is just a fun fabric. I think it'll make a great back for these little hot pads. All right, let's cut some fabric. All right, I've already pressed this and laid it out, and I don't have a 10.5-inch ruler. So we're gonna have to do this the old-fashioned way and just make some marks here so that I can create a line. And just cut some 10.5-inch strips. That works too. I mean, it'd be nice if I had a ruler that was 10.5, but I don't need fancy. I need utility. So there's my 2 lines. I'm just going to line them up. There's my 10.5-inch strip. I've only got 3 of these set up and ready to go, which isn't a problem. We're getting ready to go camping, and I just need something to keep my hands busy. I'm going to be putting these together with hand quilting because I just really like having something for my fingers to do while we're sitting by the fire or while we're enjoying a quiet evening under a tree. Whoopsies. Years ago when we started camping, I got a little fidgety. Let's go with fidgety. I don't sit still well. I stay busy all the time, and that's okay. But when I broke my leg or hurt my knee or whatever you want to call it, it was a hot mess. I had to learn to slow down. And now I'm really liking it. All right, there's my 3 backs. So here's how we're going to do this. We're just going to put one of these face down. I've already got my batting and my top together here. And let's get these quilt pins out. I have a cat. Her name's Cupid. She's a delightful little cat. But the other day I came in and I found quilt pins all over the floor. all over the floor. She had climbed in and decided to knock my fancy quilt pin container down. And it did force me to pick up the floor and clean things up. Oh my gosh, can you see this mess I've got? Do you put your quilt pins in open or closed? I don't know. I'm not sure what to do with this because they always get so tangled up. But by the time I'm done using quilt pins, I really don't have the patience to close them all up and put them away. So instead, it's like playing that game. What was that game when we were kids where the monkeys were in the barrel and you had to hook up? Anyway, moving on. There. I've just pin basted it. Nothing fancy. Just to kind of hold it in place. And then these will be ready to go on the camping trip with me. I don't know what color thread I'm going to quilt it with, especially since I've got so many colors going on here. I've got a nice variegated tan kind of thing. I think I'll use that. It should blend in, but I'll probably take a couple of other pieces with me just to see. So the next time you see these, they will be hand quilted and I will be binding them. I don't trust my hand sewing yet enough to finish them at the campground. So I'll bring them home, put the binding on them here with the machine, of course, and then they'll be ready to hand out to just nice people. If you guys have some interesting ways to use your orphan blocks, I'd love to hear about it. I've seen quilts put together that were all orphan blocks. With my wackadoodle sense of colors and patterns, I'm not sure what an orphan block quilt would actually look like. It would look like something that you'd take on a picnic or use it for the dog's bed, probably, but you never know. Different strokes for different folks. So if you have some orphan blocks and ideas to use with orphan blocks, please put them in the comments. I will read your comments and respond. If you enjoyed my wackadoodle camping trip idea, please let me know. Give me a thumbs up. That's how this all works. Meanwhile, have a great day. Enjoy your quilts and enjoy your family.